Oh, let's have a look. Let's have a look and see how we're getting on. Once again, looks like the chat isn't loading as much as I'd like it to. Let's see how we get on. Channel. Hey! At least the sound is working. There we go. Now let's get that exported as we like to. There we go. Stick that in there. Right, well, here we go. I'll be saving this VOD so that we have all of the information in one place, but we're going to do some VOD reviews. We're going to have a look over yesterday's games, the one that I had the joy of spectating and commentating, and also the one that I didn't, which I've heard was quite a doozy. So, first things first, we had the leather-clad console jockeys go up against team That's What She Said. Just a very interesting performance. Let's see if we can get onto Ilios for game one, which was MKB. Hopefully none of that in-game. 5BF. Here we go. There we are. This is what we're expecting. What I will do is I will change my spectator controls to include ability to zoom out. I want to see some bigger fights away from the player's POV. I think this is what we're looking for. The player toggle. Is that right? Toggle normal player spectator cam. So this is where we start off. This is where we're beginning. Let's have a look how we get on. Okay, so let's just pause. So what we see leading into Ruins is something that I think no one really expected. We see obviously the... Oh my. People are very... There we are. Very scuffed. We see obviously the trophy chef and his team running the Rhine rush composition with the Lucio to speed boost the Rhine in. You've got the McCree for that kind of AoE close-ish damage range around trophy at all times with the flashbang potential, the hit scan damage from medium range. All of that lovely stuff. And also you've got the Diva, very common with the Rhine. You see the Diva eating any incoming damage, keeping trophy hopefully stable and ready in one piece. But also, a bit of a staple pick that I wasn't expecting to see too much of in the league season is we do see the Sombra coming out from Z-Man. Z-Man Sombra making its debut appearance in the league. I'll try and get my chat to work as well, because I know people are commenting, or at least one. Why is that being scuffed? Come on, internet, work with me. In the meantime, we saw the Sombra come out, which was very interesting. Possibly looking for EMP slams, EMP bombs, all that good stuff. But on the other side, something we probably weren't expecting to see, but I was bloody glad we saw it, is we've seen a rush come out from the other team as well, from Leatherclad. They've also gone for the rush. They've gone for the Rykar Rhine with the Rugby Rushy Zarya, and a bit more of a traditional rush with the Lucio and the Baptiste, both probably pumping heals into the Rhine to keep them up, instead of the Mercy, which is a bit more of like a general AoE kind of pick. My streamers are just completely crashing, which is beautiful. But yeah, so we see the mirror rush. So I don't think anyone really expected going into the team fight. There's heroes such as Junkrat taking a lot of space with AoE damage to try and deny point. It looks like Trophy's team does opt to take point very early. I'm not usually a big fan of this. I think controlling this higher ground, trying to win the fight here is very important, because then you can kind of drop onto the point when you're ready to capture it instead of as the fight begins, because what this does is it gives the red team, which I think they're aware of with the Junkrat, a bit of a higher advantage to spam into. It's a lot more difficult for them to shoot up than it is to shoot down, especially with the Junkrat spam, not taking a bunch of damage going in early. We just slow down for a second. We can see that this Rhine battle is already kicking off. Trophy with the most inspirational charge of the day so far. I think the first proper commit that he goes for, and he does get punished for it. You can see on the side of the blue team now, they do start to collapse around the pressure of Trophy dropping. And with that, it looks like, yep, the point does just flip over towards the red team. Tanks pushing forward, taking a bit of space, trying to clean up any stragglers, Brand dropping. Yeah, so a good, comfortable first fight for the red team. You'd think, possibly against the run of play, with the speed... Oh, the stream's coming back. The Wi-Fi is trying its best. Probably a bit against the run of play, but with ultimates leaning towards the red team, you'd think that, yep, any extra pressure here would be great. I would say that in this situation, you do want to hold a little bit carefully, because there's a lot of potential damage coming out, especially if Z-Man ever gets behind, goes for a manual hack onto the Reinhardt, he needs to be careful not to get caught. But holding this front kind of position, getting some ult charge, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think it's possibly a very good way to hold this point. Welsh with massive AoE healing coming out from the Baptiste, holding that high ground. Very big. And this is a problem we thought we might see, is that Z-Man now behind, going for a manual hack onto a target. Catches onto the Lucio. Very big. Trophy with a huge pin. And once again, Trophy doing what he does best to a degree. Feeding in style. Probably goes to the grab here, trying to potentially turn the fight around. Is this a fight that's winnable? Thing is so difficult is with the Grav being in this room, Trophy can just spin around and swing, and he probably catches everything that's trying to hit him, which makes it very difficult to clean up the Grav. I think you'd like to, yeah, and so as it goes down for it, I think you'd like to see this Grav a bit closer to point. This is the one problem you've got with holding so close. But Rugby, on his way to getting out, does get out. I think the best play for the red team now is to back up as quickly as they can. If they can get anyone to survive this fight, they might get a recontest. Rugby going to try and touch the point for a little bit. Probably going to see that flip back over to the blue team. Feeding with style, I like that, yeah. Massive feeds, but doing it with a smile on his face. Yeah, a bit of a stall coming out from the red team, but it looks like, yep, 47%. Going to flip back over to the blues. Now, this is where the fight gets interesting, right? Because you've got the team of the Leatherclaw Coastal Jockeys with so much ult potential. You've got the beat ready to come online, window when Welsh gets back, slam, tire, bob, but also going into beats, bomb on its way, noon, EMP, shatter. And I think we are going to see an EMP. I think I remember we do see a bit of an aggressive EMP, which I do like. Z-Man really did stand out to me in these first couple of games. Definitely someone to look forward to if you're coming up against him. Yeah, go for an aggressive play here with the EMP setting up. There it is. Possibly a bit of a wasted noon from Brand, but it does get the job done with the slam on top. Trying to clean up any stragglers now. Lemony caught a little bit in no man's land. Cacti getting an early pick though, and this is good now because with 3 ults expelled from the blue team, red team now have everything you'd think they should need. They have 5 ultimates online. You'd hope that if they're proactive with it, try and get Bob maybe onto point, maybe tire something in the back line, catch anything with slam, that you could possibly get some kind of good refight here. Just speed them back on. This is important though, because the position that blue team's taking from here is a really strange one. It's a very incredibly aggressive position, as obviously we'd expect from Trophy. Going for the early swings in. And to be fair, they do get the value for it that they would have wanted. They get a bit of an early engage. Red team probably not expecting quite the aggression they were forced onto. And I think that is a staple for this whole series, is that the red team just weren't quite ready for a long time seeing. So the beat does come out from Az and Shams at the same time, kind of negating each other's value, which is expected. Good ult management from the both of them to realise that both beats need to be used to keep their team up. Big Slam catching onto the Lucio. Gets the manual hack though from Z-Man. Big slam, big bomb. The fact that that bomb catches too is actually so big, because it makes it so much more difficult for the fight to get taken. Let's see Cacti's POV here, because Cacti not been massively involved in this fight so far because of the long-range hit scan aspect. Shots just not quite falling her way. Good escape there from Trophy. Needs to keep backing up though, or she might lose her life still. Lovely headshot onto the Sombra to try and turn the fight. Trophy, once again, let's just have a look, okay? I want to see how many times we can see this in this series. If you ever decide to do a drinking game, take a shot every time Trophy is plus 20 meters away from his team. How has he ended up here? And the rest of his team is over there. In a fight that, to be honest, the blue team are at the risk of losing. Red team see that he's out of position, charge onto him, take him out. Cacti losing her life to Brand in the meantime, not ideal. Rykard dropping literally to about, I want to know how much HP he's on exactly. 7 HP! A little sniff away from toppling over. Does just about manage to keep himself intact. Big grab coming out from Rugby. I think we saw a lot of big grabs. Rykard is so low! Needs to be careful with the Sombra poking him down. EMP comes out, not too much follow-up, but just enough follow-up to get the fight to kind of sway back to neutral. The nat out of her mech. Spitfire Valking back to Trophy on the point. Not the best window placement from Welsh, possibly a bit optimistic thinking they've already got control. Maybe with Lemony from either side, that could become useful. And yeah, trying to push it onto that point window, not the worst thing in the world now that they're on point. Just difficult to engage with it there. Trophy, I honestly have no idea where this man is going, ever, and it scares me. But here we go. Rugby come back on the ball. A bit of an early pick onto the ball. I think the ball isn't necessarily needed here as of yet. I still think there's a bit of a contest going on with the Rhine, with the Zarya. Don't think it's the end of the world. But the ball, to get back quick, a bit of extra pressure. I don't hate it. Just means that that is an extra potential target for the Sombra. Obviously, EMP not quite anywhere near where they need it to be, but that free feed onto that ball could bring it into a level fight. Because Red are going to take this. It's 99 to 40 to 50 now. Pushing into the last 2 or 3 main fights. This is what I like for the red team, though. They're starting to move away from holding on the point and starting to drop back into it when the fight pressure goes on. Because look, you can see Trophy pushing in. By the time he gets to the point, though, he's literally drops to Welsh punching him. It's exactly the kind of play I think you need to make if you are the red team here. I think you need to play super passive. Let the blue team push onto you. Try and catch them being overly aggressive. And this is it. Here's the first time we see from Lemony finally coming out. Catch onto Lucio. Doesn't quite get the mech of Nat. Would have been nice to have caught both. Hello, Nat. Just talking about you. Start saying in mech. How are you doing? So this is it now. We're getting into that kind of like last fight territory. And again, it's so difficult to call because you've got Shatter pretty much on either side. 97 to, well, now 100 to 84. EMP not going to be there. Hainu not going to be there. Bomb to no grav. Valkyrie to a beat. But then Bob is in the fray for the red team. This could go any particular way. Hello, Az. How are you doing? Hello there. General Kenobi. So, what are you doing? No, I'm going to do this one and the next match. I'm going to try and do today. See how we got on for time. But I'm going to try. I'm definitely going to make sure I watch yours because I need to see how that went. Was that be my first time seeing it? This is my second time seeing this one, obviously. Pushing on to a very aggressive hold here from the red team. They're really trying to wrap up this fight even before it starts. I'm not a massive fan of this because it does open up the flank here. Brand possibly able to get a pick or two should the flash fan land the way he wants it to. If I'm the red team here, knowing for the fact that this is going to be your last fight, possibly a bit of a passive decision from me, but I'd love to play a bit slower into this kind of back top position where you could drop onto the point, use this statue as a bit of cover, push in this kind of direction because you've got that high ground again, which, to be fair, will be what Lemony needs to get her tire up, would be what Cacti can use. I think she's trying to get there already, but she's still holding a bit far forward. The only problem I've got is that we're expending ults into this fight, but we're a bit split, and then again it's like, your big ult to win this fight realistically is Bob, because of that extra man on the point, but where's it going to go? Where do you put Bob here? I don't see where you can put Bob if your whole team is putting forward. She tries to throw Bob onto the point and he jumps over the wall. Bob is throwing. Bob is inting. I didn't even see that first time watching it. No, she tries to put Bob on point, but he just runs over the wall. That's actually quite unlucky. Does that matter? Beat just on time, but loses rugby to it anyway. The bomb literally on his head doing the full 1,000 damage. This is going to be a situation where Tyre is super important if it falls to it. The manual hacked. I want to see Welsh's point of view with the window. Again, a window onto the point. Probably would have preferred it if he put his window maybe onto this high ground. Maybe it's selfish with it, try and use it all himself, try and get some damage and healing through the window without getting denied the space. But doing well. T-Pu's team in it. See, look, it's difficult to use the window here because it's a bit caught in the middle of everyone where you can't really get either side. But people starting to tumble. Rykar really pulling in a great performance on the Rhine. Dishing out the heals, dishing out the damage. Lucio going to not quite get back on for the touch, and that's 1-0 in favour of Leatherclad. Again, I don't think anyone expected that they would be competitive on the mirror match. Speaking of something I don't think we expected, the Lemony Farah coming out. Scoring the basket, proving a point. So this is interesting, right? You move into map 2, we're on well. Okay, everyone knows what well's capable of. The big, obviously, hole in the middle, terrifying for anyone who's looking at it. But this is genuinely an interesting talking point because you've got the Hog meta played. You've got Hog Zarya, Hog main tank being pushed into the typical Rush Rhine main tank that we thought we'd see from Trophy. And you've also got a flyer on each team. We've got Echo coming out from the blue team, pocketed by Spitfire. You're going to have the Lemony Pharmacy as well with as the supporting cast, trying to help get some extra damage. But this, I don't think anyone expected this. I don't think we saw too much of Hog all weekend, at least from this match. I can't wait to see on the other side. I'm not sure how much Hog was played in Cursed against Dukes, but we'll wait and see. But no, we'll see how the Hog goes for the red team. I think they're going to make the use of that well positioning as much as they can, get the Hog in the fray, right in the dead centre, although watching out for Lucio Boops. remember seeing a big point about this. This fight, I think, is all because of Trophy. He goes very aggressive, as we expected. Look, he's all the way forward here, where his team not quite ready to support him, about a second out, where if he gets pressed instantly, he might just drop, especially without the ultimates online. Big 5 strikes, though, is probably what's going to make this fight. But then this is when they realise that Farah is here. Farah is in the fight, and I think they try and move to shield it. So Trophy completely gives up the fight that he was just fighting to cover this angle, and now it gives the red team, you know, all the space they could possibly want to take this room, or even just push onto the point this way with a bit of extra time before the point unlocks. Lemony, a little bit isolated, would like to see the Mercy with her, just to keep her in one piece, because it does mean that she's exposable by Z-Man. Can he land the shot? He's going for it. She's in beam range. There she goes. So you probably need the Mercy with her just to help her stay in one piece. But then again, it is a bit either way, where you do have both of the Mercies supporting the tanks instead of the flyers, so I guess it goes in either direction. Swiftfire's point of view just saying happy and safe, moving over a little bit to the DPS, and the point goes over to blue. This is where it's interesting to see, because I do believe the red gets some kind of recontest. Rykard trying to make some magic happen on the Hog, just trying to poke out, taking a flash fan, very dangerous. Dropping before using his eat, should probably go for the breather just when he drops below half. He knows the flashbang's already out, he knows there's nothing else that can deny him his heal, so it is safe to go for it. Probably should go for it there before dropping. But this is where I think the red team take a really bad couple of fights, because they keep forcing it. They keep pushing into this fight, where you'd think that with all the resources, the damage that the blue team have, I don't think you ever win this fight if you're the red team. Yeah, Brand picking up the pick onto Cacti. The picks are going either way, but because the point is in blue's favour, the longer you stay here as red, unless you're getting 3 or 4 picks a second, can be really difficult to flip over. Big hook coming out onto the Diva. Whole Hog now online. I'd love to see him go aggressive with it. He does. Trophy with a big slam, whiffs because of the Hog. See, look, all of that sustain, all of that ability. Huge grab, but again, not too much follow-up, only really catching Baby Diva. If there's ever a time when this fight is going to flip, it has to be now. Any longer and it's not worth it. Trophy, once again, absolute Narnia. Lemony back out of the fight. We see the Tracer 1v1. Trophy gets hooked into the well, finally making use of it. And that is finally going to flip over to the red team. You could argue that if their plan was to try and take that fight, if that fight is always going their way, then to get an extra 30-40% out of it with a stall from the blue team is, I mean, it's great. You know, if you're losing that fight, you can get another 40% off the point, then it's worth every cent. But that is another basically free team fight for you to take. I've just gone back 20 seconds. I'll go back forward in a sec when it loads. But yeah, like getting that stall is huge if you can make it last. Where are we going? Why have we frozen? Come on, Overwatch, please work with me. Okay, well, we might have to reload the replay. I really hope we don't have to do that, but it is possible. Okay, Overwatch, come on. Okay, well, that's not going to work. Very good. Right, we'll go back into the lovely map. My stream is being so cursed, it's not working. Just can't see the comments. I can see people are sending them. Maybe my internet's just being a bit scuffed today. It is possible. We'll skip back through, they won't take us too long. We've already got to map 2. 5BF. Distributor already exists in your list. Tell me, where is it? Oh, it's here. Okay. Here it is. Here it is. I forget it's time-based. What we'll do is I can probably see the comment through the... Oh dear. Yeah, I can see it through the broadcast. I might have them on screen. Might change that eventually. Let's have a look. We'll skip back through again. Let me skip now, that's good. Because control maps are usually quite short on the round, so skipping shouldn't take hours. Please load. Looks like you skip ahead 20 seconds and it takes 20 seconds to load it. Please? Please? Okay, well, okay, well this is great. All according to plan, ladies and gents. Attempt 3. I think instead of skipping it by 20, we'll just put it on 2 times speed. And we'll just talk as we go through. Wait for the teams to load in. Eventually. What's going on? Why is it hating it? There we go. It's just taking a minute. We'll get there. Okay, let's put 2 times on. Get us through. So weird watching it in times 2. Seen all this before. Just let it filter through, let it load. Just watch the fight flip. Oh no, I've gone for a +20. Oh, please, why is it not loading? Just don't understand why it's not working. Come on, Overwatch, work with me, please. Oh, it's so scuffed. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's internet. I don't know if it's just Overwatch being crap. Right, let's try again. Load into a practice range. Reset a bit. God, even that's taken a minute. How much ping are we on according to Overwatch? Come on. Show me it higher than normal. Stream probably isn't helping. Oh no, that's dropped back to normal. Okay, this should be fine. I don't quite understand what all the fuss is about, to be honest with you, Overwatch. See if we can load it from inside the practice range, if that helps. There we go. I said there we go, I'm pressing select, nothing's happening. Okay. Well, that's great. What? Oh, come on! We'll get back. We will just have to wait, I think. Okay. Just load, just load. Just do it easily. There we go, that's taking us in. Put double on. We'll just wait for a minute. We'll just watch the trophy experience at times 2 speed. God, it looks even crazier at times 2. So what? It's a shame, because I actually would like to have paused and gone back a little bit at some points, but if we can't use the 20 seconds either side, then it's just not gonna. So, oh, he does actually whiff the slam. Oh, okay, so he actually. I didn't even see that first time round. But he does actually whiff the slam, so high noon probably is needed from Brand there. Big block. Oh my god, there's so much healing on him. Like, he needs everything. Oh, see ya. Run away, trophy. Oh. Okay, we're getting there. We're almost there. It starts to get windy. A little bit windy on the roof at the moment. We'll get there. Oh my, he's so lucky. I thought he was gone when I saw that live. Yeah, shield's gone. He's still back out, still aggressing, he's still engaging. It is just feeding, unfortunately, at that point. Mr. Inspirational Chef. If I can close some other tabs on the stream in the meantime, how about that? So I do have a lot open. There we go. What thrilling gameplay. Yeah, we're getting there. Healers doing their job on trophy. They needed to as well. They needed to keep him up. Okay, we'll go for a little bit. And then we'll close off the POV. When we get to about 40%, we'll go again. We're going at rocket speed. This is like a really bad experimental card. Yeah, so like, he takes this fight, doesn't he? And then he backs up to play this angle, but then that gives the team so much space to walk into. That's it, he just dies, yeah. He just dies. And to be fair, I think his team's lucky to like win that whole engage. They are slowly but surely losing this fight, it looks like. Despite whatever picks Brand may get. Lemony cleaning up a bit on the Pharah. Actually not looking that bad on the Pharah. No one expected the Lemony DPS, obviously with George being sick. But, oh my god, there's so much going on. We'll wait for the reflip and then we'll switch over. When the point flips over, we'll go. Oh my god, he's just everywhere. Look at him. Oh, see ya. Slowly losing, yeah. They are slowly losing that fight. A little bit more sustained going the way of the red team. Trophy switched off the right onto Zarya. At this speed, yeah, well, not at that speed. Very quickly losing at that speed, slowly to the rest of us. But okay, so this is where we actually get to see a bit more of the fight engage. We've got big ults on the side of the red team, possibly matched by the blue team. Lemony needs to be aggressive with this barrage, but I don't think she's going to. But she does spot Nat going behind for a bomb. This is a difficult play for the blue team to make. The reason being, so the red team are here, they've got no shields, which is probably why the bomb is favourable. But with this tight choke, they can go in this room, they can even back up into here. And with the D.Va not in the main fight, it is... What is the speedrun of this replay? Trying to get through it quick. No, but it is, honestly, it is difficult, because if the red team were to realise that D.Va isn't here, okay, and if Cacti gets a pick on the sticky bomb, which I think she might go for, being bubbled, let's have a look. I would if I was her. If I'm bubbled, I'm going to go for it. There it is, gets the stick onto Reaper. Reaper wraiths to live it though, which is smart. The thing is that if the red team were to massively speed onto this fight, especially with bomb landing and not taking any lives, I think if you're Rugby, if you're Lemony especially, you've got to force... Oh, going for the boot, but the remix stopping any movement. So Lemony, yeah, taking a fight on her own, needs the support of the Mercy, but she's not going to get it. She needs that pocket. She needs it. Because otherwise the Pharah just doesn't get the value it needs. If you're not going to pocket the Pharah, then don't play it, I think is the mantra here. Which is she going to force that barrage into that fight? The blue team probably does crumble a bit. It's not lucky though. See a point flipping back over, and this is where we need to see the barrage come out. We need to see the whole hog get some value as well. Unless they opt to not go for it. Is this when they switch over? Yeah, they switch over to Rhine here. Match the rush again. Which now means that Barrage and Grav need to win. They need to get the fight to go their way. Trophy with a slam. Pretty much it beat for sustain. Makes it winnable for the blue team. But if Grav's big enough, then beat does just die to it. Unless Nat gets to eat some of the barrage. I want to see Nat's POV here because she knows barrage has to be coming. She doesn't know when. Needs to be that fire strike ideally. It doesn't connect onto anything, so it's fine. So pushing to disengage. This is risky because look, you're kind of narrowing yourself into a tight choke where if Pharah was stood here, 3 things die. You know, unless you're ready for it. So be careful with the engage. Although then again, any fire strikes come out into here are huge. Where is Lemony? But she's so behind. It's like if she's a bit closer. The only problem with this is that this barrage is fine if she's here. Because she's there, by the time that the rockets reach the ground, they're a bit split anyway, they don't take as much damage. Doesn't quite do what she needs it to do. Just a bit too high, it's raining instead of pouring. And for that reason, yeah, Trophy pinning in, gets to confirm onto Rykart. Probably the only way that he's able to live is because of the beat, so a great beat coming out from Shams. I think Shams massively impressed this week as well, considering that he is supposed to be, on paper, one of the lower ranked members of the squad, really bringing a great performance. Dupe online, if you can get grab with this, it's huge, but it is difficult to get grab with Dupe. Yep, he goes down early. Brand poking from distance, needs to get a bit close to the fight without getting stunned. To confirm it. Needs to get the Blossom off. Gets it. People are a little bit out of range, enough for the team to live. Bomb big, not big enough to win the fight completely outright. Trophy dropping so low, but just hasn't quite got the pressure on him. Big slam coming out the other way. Big slam, but not quite the support they need. Rykart getting a pick. Spitfire doing incredible amounts of healing. It's actually not even funny how much healing he's doing. Slam onto by the ball. Can Rugby finish to confirm? Needs to go for it. Trying to spin onto the well to live. It goes into the well. Comes back out again. Yeah, it's just him. Needs to use the shield to stay alive. Doesn't quite go for it. Yeah, just a bit of mechanical strategy not going their way. Yeah, again, it's one of those fights where so many things happening. The huge slam from Rykart. The huge duplicate not quite getting the value it needs. The huge beat from Shams. Lemony not quite getting the damage she wanted as well on Reaper. Ball almost killing Mercy. Window almost killing 3. If you can get those confirms, you win that fight. And then with the ults expended from the blue team, you're probably looking at quite an even last fight as well. So close. From the second stage of Ilios, going into the third, tied at 1 apiece. Now, I believe that this is just Brand to be diff. I think this Symmetra play is what just wins them the fight outright. The fact that they get onto points so quickly, set up, and they can't really get broken because of the sheer damage coming out from the Sim and the Echo. It is a lot. So they got onto points. I know they go right side. I think both teams decide to flank onto that kind of point direction. See how they get on. So yeah, they got to point super early here, and this is where the fight becomes very difficult, right? Because if you're taking this fight from the perspective of the red team, you can see that they're already set up. Rykart is already in a position where, yeah, they're already a man down as well. To lose Az pretty much straight away to the Junkrat. Obviously, we know he is a capable hero, and there's a triple boot from Shams. I forgot that this happened. Shams not only gets the first speed onto point, but also gets a triple boot. I think at that point, this is where this becomes so difficult. This is probably the hardest point on Ilios to flip. To lose 3 super early on, Cacti needs to probably get out or die here, you'd think. Gets an early swim. There we are. Just regrouping with her team. 29% ults. But the thing is that you've already got 48% ult on the Lucio on one side and then 5% on the other. You're just not going to get beat on time. There's going to be a beat on one side where there isn't going to be for another. Yeah, they don't even go for it. I respect that. They decide to switch off the Lucio, go for the Ana. Because they probably realise that they need to keep Rykart alive. Especially into a Junkrat Sim. So much damage. No, because he's not even pushed out a point yet. He's already at 100 shield. Like, where did they go? I think if you're this team, you want to move through this way and then move on to this side. Get them to all rotate away from their main hold. Try and attack from this point of view. Maybe get a flank around the back. You know, try and make something happen maybe this way, but then again, watch out for those boops. So much going on. My stream chat keeps freezing. I don't know what's going on. It's so annoying. Try and load it again. There we go. Surprised about junks in this game. Triple boop. Yeah, that triple boop was a game changer. Actually was. I actually think the fact that they got that triple boop so early on completely flips the ult economy, completely flips the momentum point. See, Robbie's trying to push in, but he's pushing in so, like, into no man's land. There's just so much damage. I think they're poking for some kind of ult fight, but again, the poke just isn't going their way. Not a single member of their team over 50% ult charge. And there's already almost 30% on the clock. They need to get someone in there swinging. Shush, one trick junk. True. Get him to shush. So look, I would love to see Rykar move in a bit with this damage. Look, they've got a bit of space. These stairs get a bit of an advantage to move into. You get to use either of these doors at the front or this one at the back, although a bit more risky because of Lucio junk. Get into this kind of position here. Start swinging at this door. Start poking fire strikes in. Try and build slam. Need to try and make something happen if you're the red team. You can't wait forever because there's just not enough damage coming in from your team to win that ult fight. You need to get there first. Shields down. Almost for the red team. My chat appears to be back, so hello everyone, hello Mac, and how you doing? Big damage coming out from the red team. But yeah, you need to take this fight if you're the red team. You need to try and make something happen. You're waiting for ultimates that just aren't quite coming. You need to force the engage. Because otherwise, you know, we're already at 50% on the board for the blue team. We can't let them have 99 because really, although it is a hard point to flip, they do have the damage to do it. And look, the thing is, as a blue team, they have ults. There's a slam coming out. Relatively big, catches on to 4 from Trophy. And there's a 4-man tire from Z-Man. See, this is just the moral of this fight, is that the longer you take to take that engage, you're poking for ultimates, but also, you know, that's what she said, they're also poking for ultimates, and their ultimates being the tire, the slam, with your tire not online yet, they are bigger than yours, and it's just you have to try and at least take a fight, maybe an ult fight where you know you're going to lose the fight. Okay, you know they've got more ults than you. We knew after the triple boot that Shams would have beat before any support ults on the red team. You have to take that fight early, try and dash into there, make a fight. Maybe you know you're going to lose, get them to use a couple of ults, and then all of a sudden you're in an even fight when it comes to ultimates. Try and make something happen. See Rugby switch over to the Sigma. When he was close to grab, I don't think that maybe they panicked a bit here. Bob coming on, gets trapped. Bob never makes it to point. Res coming out, and this is just the big fight that we've been waiting for. Okay, this is what we probably should have seen last fight, but this is what we want to see. Slamming. I'm surprised that the sim wall didn't block that, but still, just yeah, there's just so much to say. The beat is just so huge. I think Anabaptiste is an okay comp, but the double off healer not quite what you need sometimes. Welsh going for the window, not quite getting what he needs, and there goes the point. Map 1 going to team. That's what she said. Z-Man looking terrifying. We're going to see it throughout the series. What I was massively surprised about Z-Man is his hero pool that he showed today, or yesterday, sorry, was immense. He showed so many heroes that he was capable of playing. Actually, unbelievable. Okay, going into map 2, we have Hollywood. Again, another close one, as I remember it. So that's NW7. All of these codes will be made public and available to everyone after this anyway, but if you want to in the meantime have a look for yourself as we go through, feel free to do so. This is Hollywood. To Hollywood we go, and this again was a tightly fought game all the way through. Bit unlucky, you'd think, from the red team, who I believe their name is now spelled correctly. It might not be. Yeah, but you've seen that kind of mirror comp that we expected to see. Seeing another set of the rush, this time matching the Zaryas. Surprised that Nat isn't sticking to the D.Va. Why are we freezing? Don't freeze. Don't even think about freezing. Don't do that. Not already. No, no, no. Don't freeze. Well, that's okay. We reset. Oh, please, Hollywood, come on. Just want to see Hollywood, dude. So yeah, we'll get there. We'll get to Hollywood. Eventually. There we go. Might just have to watch it in regular speed, which we will do. Look at it from the attacking point of view then. We see the mirror, the Reaper pick on Hollywood. It's an interesting one. Lemony very excited by by potential threat. Yeah, my stream's frozen again. It keeps happening. The stream just keeps freezing. Okay, here we go. So, initially, first thoughts and impressions. I think the blue team's got a better comp here. I don't like the Reaper because it's so difficult to poke with Reaper on Hollywood because of the high grounds. And if you're playing a rush composition where you're really trying to speed onto a team, it can work, but we're seeing the Tor, we're seeing the Ashe on the other side. My stream just completely shut down. Okay. Site could not be reached. Why is that? Are we back? We're thinking about it. It's loading. There we go. Still says we're live. Still's Wi-Fi ain't helping. It's not. Okay, well, at least I've got you back. There we go. Yeah, the Wi-Fi diff is back. Huge. But, you know, we're seeing the very aggressive ground-based rush with the Ashe, which is a bit of a interesting pick into the core rush. But again, extra poke always helps. But you're playing it into a very, very pokey style comp where this team is playing for ultimates. You're playing for Bob. You're playing for Molten Core. Playing for Nano. You know, all of these things. So I do think that the Ashe 1v1, already a huge dynamite, and Lemony goes down before the fight begins. Brand looking for the early pick onto Cacti. It's difficult to get that conversion. And again, you see Trophy trying to close out this team fight early. He's low, and we need to remember that Cacti is still... Where is she? She's still here. So if Trophy completely turns his back, then it's risky. But yeah, not quite getting into that sight line. Blue team chasing all of the stragglers off the red. Red just trying to get whatever poke they can. Rugby probably going to die there, yeah. Looks like he will get swung down by Trophy. And this is a very, very good fight if you're a fan of That's What She Said. So it's one of those fights where you've already got ultimates online. Trophy's already got his slam. So this is the one benefit to Trophy being the absolute manic man that he is that he gets his ultimate every fight. You know he's going to have it. You know that there's always going to be a slam. And if you're Raikar now, it's so difficult to play into that because he doesn't even know yet. You'd think when he's at 40... Why are we freezing? Please, come on. Please, come on. Please just let me do the stream. I just want to do the stream. It's a nice stream, okay? Oh, it is bizarre. Okay, then Wi-Fi. You're either with me. Is this seriously just gonna... Are we being serious? Why is it so hot-ass today? Why is it not working? Okay. Oh, express maneuvers. We're moving the Wi-Fi into the way of the fan to cool it down. This is the life you live when you live on a roof in a tent, trying to stream replay reviews. It's just gone, isn't it? Yeah, it's just not coming back. Okay, we'll try again. Third time's a charm. As has been with every map we've seen so far. But you're watching it in normal speed and it still can't handle it. It's a replay. Just show me the replay. I will also close Discord, I think. That might be a reason as to why it's crumbling. Again, I can see comments are being made. The stream isn't loading. This is always great news. Why is it so bad? Oh, it's just tragic. But we'll get there. As long as we're still broadcasting, it's fine. So see the comments through the PS. Haven't seen him get punished yet. True. Trophy hasn't got punished yet. I feel like Trophy's such a wild card. The breaks so many team to their core are getting punished. Things he hasn't been punished yet, but he gets punished a lot going forward. He does get punished a lot. And this is the argument, I think, where if George is here, if the marquee player of this team is here today, why? Come on, Twitch, please, just work with me. It's loading, it's thinking about it. There we go, we're back. We're back. So if the marquee player is here for the red team, will Trophy get punished more? You'd think probably. I suppose everything's different on the day. We've seen this fight, we will 2 times our way forward a little bit. I think it'll be interesting to see how long it takes Lemony to get her ult here, because if it takes longer than it takes a double cycle for the Ashe on the other side, or even the Torb, then you need to think about coming off this Reaper at some point, I think. Unless this is a genuine strat that they've had that they've worked with in practice, and I think that you would have to reassess at some point. Okay, so this is where we were. Okay, so Raikar now pushing in without his own slam, but Trophy has his. He should know, hopefully, that Trophy will have a slam at this point. You'd like to think so at least. But he just can't afford to let his shield go too low. Needs to play for the block here. Shield getting so low though. This is a benefit for Trophy team having so much up. Great block coming out. His shield's down. He gets slept. Needs to go for the slow. It's a difficult one. If I'm Raikar here, my point of view would have been, you can see the shield has gone down from Trophy for a second. It goes. Okay. He gets nanoed, but that doesn't matter if he's on the floor. You can break through the nano with damage. But the thing is that the red team just doesn't have any damage coming out. Cacti's still only at 50% to Bob. Lemony at 31%. There just isn't damage coming out. That's what she says. Seems like a fun team to watch in a nightmare to fight. True. And yeah, just cleaning up any stragglers. And this is just so good for team, that's what she said, because you've got so many ults coming online. You honestly think that if you're in a position, this looks like it could be a full hold. You've got Grav coming, you've got another Slam in the making that Trophy should have soon. You've got Molten Core, Bob, Valkyrie. So much potential damage coming out. Red team, I think their win condition has to be some kind of Earthshatter plus a window, maybe beating into engage. This is taking too long. I think we should come off the Reaper at some point as well. Just because it's just not working. And it's not even Lemon's fault. There's no way she can poke this because the Ashe is on high ground and the Torb's in the backline. Like, where does she do the damage? Like, only onto Ryan's shield. Rykar could let his shield drop for a little bit. You need to just hope, to be honest, that Cacti also can get a pick onto this Ashe so they can push in. So many things that kind of need to go the red team's way. Bob coming out very early. This, I think, is a mistake because what does Bob do here? He dies. Hopefully. Hopefully Bob just dies. Trophy might be aggressive here and try and make it work. But this Bob, all it really does is it tickles their backline a bit, and to be honest, it gives their support ultimates if they didn't have it already. If Welsh doesn't have his ult, if Ashe doesn't have his ult, if Az, sorry, doesn't have his ult yet, then the Bob doing that little bit of poke damage but not giving any ult charge back to the Ashe because of the cooldown on the ult charge from throwing Bob, it doesn't help them. It doesn't give them too much in terms of the blue team. What you'd love to see is you'd love to see Bob go onto a little cornerstone here when they go onto point, try and split them up if the point is happening to be contested by the red team when they attack. That's what you're going to see. But the ult from Rugby has finally come out. We see Grav go in, connects it onto 3. You need to convert this. Multicore comes out, window comes out, but that core is going to slowly start doing so much damage despite the beat. Second ammo goes down, 2 are going to drop at least, you'd think. Yeah, 1 goes down, 2 goes down. Huge poke coming out from Rugby. Oh, Rugby maybe being able to save Welsh. They're not quite going his way. Yeah, just a huge Molten Core from Z-Man. Cats are getting a huge pick. If Rugby can live, he's got about 50 ult charge. That dynamite was so close to getting him. If it explodes, he goes. Yeah, I actually think that this pick here from Welsh is what wins them the next couple of fights. I think switching over to the Moira, getting that extra pure damage basically into the backline with the Coalesce going through the shield is exactly what they needed. Just to put a bit of extra pressure on. They needed to get extra pressure in this fight. They didn't have anything going forward, but they do now. This is where I think a Bob would have been great from Brand, is that the Bob going onto the point creates a bit of an angle to distract. Spitfire goes down very soon to it. Big Sam coming out from Rykar, catches onto not too much of anything, but makes the space they need. Grab a bit late from Nat, not quite catching too much of anything to turn the fight. And a big double 5-strike kill, and that is the fight. So Red have finally taken pressure onto the point. Shams goes for the res. You're probably glad the res doesn't go through because it's just extra feed if he gets res, just a 200 HP little snack for whoever wants the ult charge. And yeah, you're seeing Spitfire setting up, Nat setting up in the backline as well. Is she going to go onto the D.Va? Maybe. Too late to change now. Having to commit to the Zarya play. Let's have a look where the comment goes. So I can't see that. Hang on, what am I doing? I need to press PlayStation button. And then comments. Petulant! Oh, thank you for the 500 bits, I can't even see it! Oh my god, my stream, sorry, my stream chat, my Wi-Fi is completely bugging out today. I can't see it, but especially so much, thank you so much for the 500 bits. Massively appreciated it. And massively appreciated going forward. There we go, it's loaded, there we go. Petty with the 500 bits, thank you so much. Hope you're having a great day. You tried to switch, I know, I thought you were going to. And this is a huge grab onto Trophy, but he lives. It's like Red Team trying their best to take out the talisman, but just can't quite convert into real picks. And again, this is a bit of an iffy one for me as well. I'm not massively... Cacti just accepting her fate here. Bit of a mould. Probably should mentally get back onto level pegging. Don't want her to get too tilted. You need her to be on shooting form come the next fight. But again, this is a fight where it's so difficult for Red Team to push onto this because you're matching the rush. You need to make something happen. You're fighting into a Bob. You're fighting into a Slam. You're going to have Valk online soon as well with not too much to match it. Realistically, this Coalescence needs to get online, needs to be big. You need Slam to catch at least 2 or 3 and have them die for it. Uphill battle for the Red Team, but not impossible. Rugby being super aggressive, trying to build some up, but just worried that he might die for it. Taking a lot of damage. Trying to drag his Ryan forward with him, I suppose. Bob's out early again from Brand. A very early one. Bob not doing too much of anything, but everyone turns. Maybe we saw this live, is it because everyone turns to see Bob? Huge anti-nade coming out from Spitfire. Huge Slam from Trophy, converting into the kills. And again, you use a lot of ults on the side of the blue team to convert that, but you do get the easy fight win and you don't lose anything for it. So now you're in a position if you're blue where you need to back up a little bit, because you know that you're not going to have the best ults for the next fight. Only Valkyrie online. Going into a slam, dragon, beat, coalescence has to be huge. I want to see what Welsh does with this, because Welsh needs to make this fight happen. Z-Man picking Cacti again. She's probably not in the best of moods with that. Interesting damage orb considering the HP goes down. So much damage coming out from the blue team. So much spam. D.Va now I actually think is a very good pick here, so that you can negate all of that main spam damage coming in, unless you get demeched. There it is, huge slam, huge coalescence to follow up. This is what you need if you're the red team. Trophy gets nanoed, isn't enough to keep him up. The beats and the coalescence online. Spitfire getting focused down, goes down. Heal orbs keep Welsh alive. Yeah, and that will go in favour of... Wait, Trophy in the backline? No way. No, he doesn't. Clutch it up. Crazy plays. Just poking onto Nat. Trying to get a bit of extra ult charge before the fight. Don't die for it though. You can't afford to die for it, because now your team is going to have a bit of a slower recontest. Lemony onto the Junkrat, as we love to see. Yeah, now this is actually quite bad. The fact that Moira dies there, really dangerous. Can she get back in time before the fight starts? Probably not. No, here we go. Grab Dragons. Dragons a little bit slow. The grab might end before they get there. Catch onto Cacti, not the worst pick in the world if you're the red team. My stream does just keep crashing. I'm not ignoring people. I promise. I have to reset the chat every 3 seconds. It's just not there. Huge pick coming out from Lemony. Onto Lemony, sorry, from Z-Man. Listen, you see, it's like if you're in this situation, okay, we know that they lose this fight. How do you lose this fight? You've got 2 picks onto a tank and a DPS. This Trophy's so low. If Trophy drops, I think that's how they lose it. I was thinking watching this, I was like, how are you going to touch this? Because they've got so much frontline pressure. Who's going to be able to get past the shield and touch this point in 3 seconds? And I think what happens is, I think Welsh TP's on, doesn't he? Yeah, Welsh TP's onto the point, gets behind, and with a bit of pressure with the help of a damage orb, I think, here and there when it comes out. There it doesn't even go, there it is, yeah, there's the damage orb. Gets behind them again. Gets onto 1, needs to get 2, gets onto 2. Yeah, huge coalescence, wrapping up the fight for the Leather Clad Jockeys. A fight that, honestly, once again, could have gone either way. I think you'd feel a little bit hard done by if you're... That's what she said right now, but a great coalescence, really making the fight what it needed to be. Keep your D.Va up if you can. She needs to live. Cannot afford to lose her. Losing all the heals in the process. Actually, don't know hold kick W. I'm so sorry, Pechen. Russia going aggressive. Needs to make something happen with this bomb. I think he knows. I think he tries to do a little throw bomb, but he gets it caught on the garbage can. Can't afford to give up this point position either. You need to have someone on it at all times. Otherwise, that overtime clock will go against you. Spitfire dropping super early. Massive for the red team. A huge flux onto D.Va, converting into a D-Mech. That res comes out, it could be huge. Res not coming out, luckily. Dragons catching not quite enough. If you're the red team now, this doesn't actually look so bad, because it did look like a lost fight. But now the thing is they keep expending ults on the side of the blue team, but these ults aren't really catching on to too much of anything. So if you can try and get a Tyre online, try and get a Flux eventually again, get another Coalescence, post one later in the fight, you could cap this for 3. Need to have a strong fight though. The only problem is that you don't have a main tank at the moment. You've only got Sigma D.Va, so it is so difficult to get that frontline pressure without just getting run over by this literal train that you're seeing on the side of That's What She Said. This appears to be where the fight is going to look like it's going to flip. Trophy being super aggressive, going to build an early slam, you'd think. Catches onto 2. Those damage boosts coming from Shams as well, really racking up the ult charge for Trophy. I think his shield's gone. But it doesn't matter too much, because apart from the Junkrat spam, this needs to be big. I feel like if this is big, then the fight completely flips. What do we catch? Catches onto Spitfire, that is big, and you get the D-Mech onto Nat as well. That is what they needed. They need to now make the most of this pressure. Trophy dropping down. Now, if you're the blue team here, you need to back up as quick as you can. If you're the red team, you need to go to almost spawn door territory. You need to confirm these kills. I don't know how Z-Man ever gets away there. Does he get away? I cannot believe it. He should never get away with it. And now Rugby, trying to chase him out, is going to die for it. Got a little bit too excited. His team not there to help him. This is the problem, with the rest of the team on the side of the red team sat pretty much on the payload. Huge slam from Trophy, and that is just going to be a 4-man slam. Nano boosted Rhine. Catch onto 1. It's going to get 2. Yeah, that's going to be it in terms of the attacking phase for the red team. Really making their presence known. And again, just a little bit of coordination, a bit of a panic, you'd think maybe in the last couple of fights from the red team. Rugby trying his best to get back on point, but it's just going to completely melt in a Hollywood sauna. Crazy damage coming out from the side. Z-Man borderline teabagging with the hammer out. He's trying to get himself on the board. Doesn't quite manage to get it. Bit of a cheeky way to end the fight. Yeah, so confident hold. 69 meters, nice to the red team. You need to hope here that that's what she said, can get a great hold on first. Oh, sorry, the Team 2, the Clad console can get a great hold on first. Try and just give them a bit of extra time going into second, because really that third point, it's so rush favoured that if they don't match it, and if they're getting beat by it, then that's probably where the win condition is going to be for the blue team. See how they get on. Going into the first fight of the round. We're going to see Symmetra Ash provisionally out the gates. Not sure if we're going to stick with that. Genji from Z-Man. Feeling himself a little bit. Once again, this man, I think, at this point has played about 8 different heroes in this series, and we're only a map and a half in. Like, I don't understand where he gets the pull from, but he's confident on almost anything. But yeah, Lemony going to lead off with the Sim, which I think actually serves him really well. Lemony's Sim looking like one of her stronger DPS. Yeah, very aggressive stance from the red team. Ideally, if you're holding Hollywood, this is very much on paper, right? You want to hold on this kind of corner provisionally, so you can cover this doorway here as well. And then that means that if you do get massively pressed, you can back up to this last hold, maybe use the stairs to get out. But holding from this point, and then recontesting last second to get a touch is really, really strong. Especially if you've got like a DPS up here, maybe poking from another angle, or someone does go up the stairs, maybe flanking around all the way the back to get a bit of a split angle. If you're the Rhine here, you want to hold this kind of corner, because if you lose your shield here, you're going to back up to point anyway to try and take this corner to hide. But the thing is, if you lose your shield here, you've got to back up for about 2 seconds without dying to get to this corner. And if you're playing into a heavy damage comp, like that's what she said, have shown that they're capable of, with a huge anti from Spitfire again, massively underrated, I think, this match. A Trophy just, I don't know how he does that. Gets 2 picks. And you think that realistically, this should be the end of the fight for Leatherclad, but Welsh pumping in so much healing to keep his team up and running. Brand, a slight overextension, trying to fish out a kill, but doesn't quite get what he's looking for. If Spitfire dies, yeah, that's huge. See, from a fight that went from a 3-pick fight, had 3 picks in favour of team, that's what she said, not quite getting the result they needed. And that is a great fight for team Leatherclad, because every second that blue team stay in here, more ult charge, more potential recontest, lost. Welsh almost speeding. Gets a little bit excited for the ult. He's got Coalescence now, though. This is huge. Coalescence online. Grav also online. Grav before Shatter here. That is the stakes we're playing. Rugby pumping out so much damage. It's going to be so much charge as well, you'd think. At least 100. There he is. Now, they need to play a bit slower. They can invite some pressure on here. They've got all the space to use. Lemony with the pick onto Shans means another 10-15 seconds more or less before a big fight is going to happen. You need the Lucio in that fight to get the heals off and the speed boost to get in, as well as Beat going to be arriving later. Rugby wants this. Look, Trophy's just sat still taking it, but Rugby poking for a bit of an opportunity here. Needs to watch out for the D.Va eat. If D.Va doesn't eat this grab, you're in absolute wonderland. And there it is. Huge 5-man grab. But thing is, this is what we said on the stream, right? Is a 5-man grab comes out, Rykard doesn't block the slam, which means they lose Coalescence. They're lucky to still win quite as cleanly, but if you're in a huge 5-man grab and you're playing Rhine, if you're pushing into that grab that your team's just created, you don't need to swing. The grab will do its own job. You've got a Coalesce going into it as well. You don't need to push in too hard with the Rhine because the damage is already going to be there. You've got a Sim there as well. You've got an Ash poking with a Bob on its way. You don't need to swing. You need to just protect your team from whatever damage might come the other way. So only way you lose. Luckily, they got away with it. Very comfortably so as well. Coalescence huge. Welsh's Moira, I think, really has started to swing this game in favour of the red team. Should be able to bait that Cole within 30 seconds. True, yeah. Cole definitely coming out earlier. This is where the fight, though, might start to be a bit more even, possibly leaning towards the side of the blue. Beat's huge, Nano's huge, Bomb's huge, Blade on its way. Going into Bob, Wall. Wall not doing too much here apart from denying McCree. maybe denying the bomb, but I don't think she's going to set up to do that. So much poke damage here. This is what I don't like, is that we're getting a little bit too excited on the extend. See, look, now if they push on, yeah, Lemony dies, she's a little bit too far forward. Bomb not catching much of anything. Slam huge. Where's Rykar here? There he is. Needs to go for it. Oh, he gets caught. That's unfortunate. We said it on stream. There were so many people like close to him that if he went for that slam, he might have caught it. Because Cat's Bob is doing bits and tricks online. Early sim wall coming out from spawn. Not sure there's too much usable there. As chilling on the point, getting a bit of a recontest. Will soon die for it. Yep. Looks like that's probably going to be all she wrote for the red team holding this point. Rykar backing up to hold onto the second. All in all, could have got a bit longer out of it if they played a bit more careful. I think a bit too aggressive at the end, a bit too pressuring. The Nano just wins the fight. Need to back up a little bit going into those. But yeah, if they can set up early, bit of a high ground take, maybe try and drop on. I think that's what they do decide to go for. They do decide to use the high ground, which is a very, very good place to hold with Rush, because you can drop on, you can basically dive with Reinhardt, see the exposed backline, try and drop onto it with a shatter, with a grav, whatever you decide to go for. Lemony taking a bit of a further backwards position, would like to see her get a bit closer. Looks like she's going to try and move towards that. And yeah, here we are, Rugby dropping onto the car early. But slam from Rykar, behind, catches onto 4. Coalescence huge from Welsh. You need to get a pick out of this, you need to make this fight work. You can't use 2.5 ults and not get a fight win here. Spitfire dropping to the damage orb. Shams 1 HP, his trophy 1 HP. There we are, huge from Welsh. Welsh actually probably the MVP of this map if the red team have won it. Obviously we do know that they end up losing this map still later on, but this really was the play. The Moira was the way to go. I think that red team should all get back on high ground again. Just rinse and repeat the strat they just made. It seems to work really well. This is their field trophy though. You've got the big ults coming out. Red team here, they can wait as long as they need. They can use the whole length of the high ground. But Rykar going super aggressive on the engage. Trophy gets nanoed. And the grab, I didn't even see that live. The grab gets eaten by Nat. That's so important. If grab doesn't get eaten there, they probably guarantee lose anyway. Do end up losing anyway. Trophy slamming at 0 HP, probably shouldn't go for that, a bit risky. Bombing in a lost fight as well is a little bit of a iffy one. This fight is just going everywhere. There's so much going on. I think the ult economy should be something these teams should definitely work on in future. Try and analyse before a fight what else you've got, what else you want to use, what else you definitely don't want to use, the order that they're going to use ults, because it is just a fight where there seems to be 4 or 5 ults online and everything just gets used in every fight. It is an absolute whitewash of ultimates every single time, and it just means that you end up in a bit of a stalemate. Playing this super tactically, there's an argument that said that if you are the blue team, try and force out an ult or 2 without using one of your own, and then you end up in a better fight for the next fight. You know, try and direct yourself in a way where you're going to end up in a more one-sided fight instead of the constant even back and forth that we've had. Cat's playing a bit close to the low ground. We'd like to see her go higher. Bit of a higher poke would be better for her here, I think. Tyre comes in. Beat negates it. Nat trying to DM the beam, not quite going the way she wants it to. She does get the pick onto the cacti though in the back. Huge pick. Yeah, that pressure now, overwhelming pressure is coming out from the blue team as they push forward. Cart slowly coming into that last corner. And this again, this is where it's very important that teams talk to each other and say, okay, these are the ultimates we've got online, we need to use Slam here, we need to get Bob online soon, we've got Coalescence, we need to probably engage with that to try and make the fight a bit more one-sided. They will have time though to get a big fight here. Will have time to make it go their way. Need to try and force it. How does Slam not hit Anna there? How did Anna not get hit by that? I have no idea. She dies anyway, caught by the fire strike, but I have no idea how she... Was it just out of range? Was she blocked by something? I don't know. Oh, but the big Slam from trophy. I can't believe it. Where does this fight go? I forget. Wait, let me find who I'm looking at. There we go. One Lemony here. I think it's just a great shot onto the soldier here. Yeah, catches him on the high ground. Huge from the Junker, actually. Great bit of accuracy. You don't see that very often in a Junker that can aim, but Lemony really making it happen the way it needs to. Playing ultimate ping pong, it's true. So much back and forth, it's unbelievable. They need to really get that under control, because listen, they're in a fight now where Grav is online, Bob is online, but there's nothing else. But really, only blue team have Nano here. Bomb can maybe make some space, but not really going to confirm too many kills here. This is unbelievable to me. No! Please don't break. No, I pressed R2. Oh, it's broken. Oh, okay, well, listen, it's broken. I'm so upset. Basically what happens, they grab in the backline, but the team isn't ready. So they grab 3, Lucio and Anna and McCree are all together. They're all healing each other, they all live. And it's enough for them to win. But the thing is that if the red team's just a bit more coordinated on the fight, if they know exactly where the ultimates are going, when they're going, they could have won that. And to be honest, they should have held second, I think. That should have been 1 map apiece. I don't think that the blue team should have walked away with it. But a second, like I said earlier, they get into that 3rd point after capping, after that fight, because the grab goes to waste. Ultimates swing back in the favour of the blue team. I'm so annoyed. I'm not going to skip through all of that again, I'm sorry. But we will find it eventually. I'm so annoyed that I've lost that. It happens. It's okay. God, my Wi-Fi is just completely papagering everything at the moment. I apologise. But it happens. Not the end of the world. But yeah, so that's how the map falls to the blue team again. It honestly is just the rush going either way. Every single game. Now then, moving into map 3, Hanamura. This, again, I think, is where Trophy gets exposed the most. But just not quite enough to win the game. So close all the way through. Let's see if we can get in to Hanamura. There we go. Okay. What we'll do, ladies and gents, is I'll see how these teams set up and then I'll quickly go get a drink of water before we continue. It has been an hour and I didn't realise how much this would take out of me, but I will go get some water in a sec before we see this last round. So yeah, so on defense first, Leather-clad Constant Jockeys leading up with a typical rush count that we've seen. The Rhine Zarya with the Junkrat. Bullet is now making his first appearance. Bullet has not been in this fight yet, but here he is. Okay, what we'll do is I will leave it there. I'll be back in about a minute and a half. I'll run. I won't run some ads, it's not working. I would run some ads, but I don't know why it's not working. Hang on. Why can't I run ads? What is wrong with my stream? Why is it so cursed? Why is it so cursed? Okay, well I would run ads, but I can't. So everyone enjoy looking at Briggs' face through the eyes of Trophy for a minute. I'll be back in about a minute and a half. Okay, sorry for the wait. There we are. We're back. How's everyone? Oof, just got a whole 2-litre bottle of water like I did yesterday. Feeling very prepared. I'm going to put my fan up another level, I think, actually. Hopefully that's not too loud. Let me know if we can hear that massively. If not, I'll turn it down. But, God, it's so hot upstairs. Jesus. Okay, where are we? First round. The third and final map of this series. Another rush mirror. And we're seeing a bit more of a strategic plan coming out from team. That's what she said. Going for the Mei sim. Mei trying to funnel people through towards the point is what I thought the plan originally was. We'll see what Brand decides to do though. So I think running Mei and sim together is a bit bizarre. Usually see one or the other. Oh, they try to go through the TP, but they end up losing the TP before it places. Gets so much damage in there from the Junkrat. Rykar really trying to match the aggression of Trophy that we've seen already. Bit of a risky play to make, but yeah, I like this passiveness. Again, on Hanamura, I do like it when teams hold a little bit deeper here, so they've got a bit of an exit to back away from, especially if you're on the Rhine, main tank, whatever. Have Junkrat all the way in the backline spamming, because you don't really need to be anywhere in particular for the pellets to go where they need to go. Maybe have Rugby closer. Have Anna again, I think Welsh playing a bit, he's playing Anna a bit like you'd play Moira, to be honest. A little bit closer to the front line. Have him a bit deeper line so he doesn't get clipped by anything, doesn't get caught by a stray icicle or a stray fire strike that might clip onto him otherwise, being so close. It looks like they're trying to push a little bit of the pressure, but Shield's not quite going the way. Bullet, a very suicidal man, but playing Junkrat probably makes it a bit of a better case. This already looks a lot better for the blue team. They've got ults coming online, they've got Tyre already out, they've got Slam on its way. And that is a monstrously huge Slam. Good pin onto the Mei. Mei the bigger target there than Moira you'd think because of the damage it takes to kill her. Can't afford to lose anyone here if you're the blue team. Just get out, have a clean fight. Do you need Tyre there, Bullet? Probably not. I don't think you need Tyre there, but it's okay. Again, the only thing that changes now is that Bullet now has to race Brand for Tyre. Because Brand is still slow to it, but Bullet needs to get there first, otherwise that Tyre is a bit of a waste. But you'd think that, based on how the game's gone so far, Bullet might get there before Brand. Brand in at 33% with 2 fights gone. Not quite falling the way he'd want it to. Also looks like, to be honest with you, Rykar's having the better of the Rhine duel this fight. Already catching Trophy onto the next Slam, having already used one. Bit of an early Maywall coming out from Z-Man, not quite helping his team in the way that they'd like. Spitfire moving over to the Brig. Brig, a difficult pick here, because you're moving Brig into a Junkrat on Hanamura. Personally, I think this is one of the hardest points in the game to play Brig. Junkrat goes down to a stray icicle, like we mentioned, from the Mei. So this now could go anywhere. If Shams pushes in with a Coalescence, I think this fight is very winnable. He does do it to keep his team up. Let's see how this goes. Welsh's nano here is absolutely ginormous. The nade onto Rykar to keep him up anyway, and then the nano to keep him sustained with a ginormous slam. Shouldn't charge there, should fire strike that. They're all on the floor together, you don't want to boot them away. You can fire strike and swing. But otherwise, absolutely massive. Such a shame, because if he fire strikes that, and then if he swings into it, they all die. He's nano boosted, they're all going to die. Fire strike does 150 when he nanoed, swings do 125. They all die. Because he's booted them away, they get a bit of a better recontest. Maybe his team doesn't get as much ults as he wants. It was a huge slam, so maybe he was a bit excited for it. But you do need to still relax and do the tech properly to get the most value. Triple HP could swing onto that. Oh, he wants it, but it's not quite going. Huge heals. Rykar manages to back out all the way to point. Now this is where you're in a bit of trouble here, because the front line now for the blue team is just gone. There just is no front line. They get all the space to use. Brand should probably focus Anna there. He is antied. Does he die? If he dies, it's so huge. He doesn't. He does die eventually. Welsh farming up to another nano. Nano could win them this fight if he gets it later on. As long as... Oh, but he gets picked by Z-Man. These icicles are really doing their job as of thus far. Trevor missing the pin. Making a bit of space onto the point for the rest of his team to have to deal with on their own. Blue dropping to the big swings. Rugby getting a pick. For what it's worth, just a bit of ult charge. Yeah, the fight eventually flipping over to the red team here. Quick spawns everywhere and anywhere for the blue team. Now, this now becomes the most important part of this second point. Question being, where do blue choose to defend this hold? They're starting by holding it on point. I don't like this. I think the most favourable place to mirror the rush comp is where Rugby and Bullet are stood right now. Have everyone up here, because then you force them to try and engage you, because if everyone isn't up here and they push onto point, there is no problem whatsoever. If the team pushes onto point, and you're all up here, your 6-man team is up here, the Ana and the Ashe stay here, the Junkrat can stay here, your Rein can pin onto point with a bubble, you know, you have the high ground advantage, which is so, so important. I think everyone should be up here, just so that Bullet and Rugby don't get exposed if they get rushed onto. But it looks like, yeah, Rugby is going to poke from the top, as keeping the bottom groups alive. See a bit more damage boosting coming out from Az with his team at full HP. Big early Valk coming in. Ty goes down from a 5-strike. That's actually so huge. Az a somewhat contesting point, keeping everyone up. This Valkyrie is monster huge. Actually so huge. Nano as well, to giving everything they can to Rykar to keep him up. Counter charge coming out. Doesn't need the slam. Doesn't need the slam, but it's okay. It's fine. They win the fight. A lot of ults coming out from both sides, to be fair. Nat grabbing that is a bit of a interesting one as well. It is just one of those games where I'd love the teams to review this and think, okay, where should we use ults that we didn't, and where did we use ults where we shouldn't have done? So if you can get that ult economy down and ready to be in a position where if you're losing a fight, lose the fight. It's completely okay to lose a fight that you're losing. You don't have to turn every fight into a miracle win situation. If you're losing it, you can take a backup. You're on Hanamura, you've got 2.5 minutes still of the clock. You can get a new fight. That's a huge grab, but again, it's just like they're in a position where there isn't too much they can do follow-wise. Trophy's one swing away, but Rykar doesn't go for it. Oh, he should have died. Rykar should have been a bit more inspirational with that press. Ideally, you would hope that Welsh calls that they're one and tied, and then Rykar goes, but I think just a bit of nerves, maybe holding each other back. Big block, using the bubble to block the slam. Now this is now the point where I think we said it in the stream, said it also in the post-match interviews with both Trophy and Rykar, is that you would argue on paper looking at this, we weren't expecting this to be this close. We thought if there is a mirror match between the rush comps, that Trophy's team should favour, Trophy being the stronger main tank out of the two on paper, Nat with the Diva potential, with the Zarya potential, where Rugby kind of honed in onto that Zarya, a bit more flexibility there. You would think that the rush should favour Trophy's team, but as an organised bubbled unit, it looks like that Team Leatherclad have looked a lot better in terms of pushing in together as a team, taking fights when they want to. Let's look how split the red team are now. They need to try and force a fight somewhere, but the team is just a little bit in shambles. Maybe if subs were available, things might have changed throughout, but with Bullet only just arriving, it's unfortunate. See, look, this is where you hold the high ground, people try and push onto point. Welsh with a pick with the anti-nade. Rugby needs to be careful here, he's not looking great for heals, needs to get back up those stairs, there he goes. There we go. There's always a risk that you could just explode to Junkrat there, but he gets away with it. Cacti poking towards her next bob, and this is a position where, if you're the blue team now, this is brilliant, this is heaven. You've got ultimates out the wazoo. You need to make this work. You also need to be careful that you don't use 6 ultimates in a fight where they only use 1. If you're the blue team, I would be sat here saying, okay guys, we've got this, we're going to use this and this. If that doesn't work, then we'll use this and this, and then we'll clean up with this and this if we really, really need it. You need to have everyone on level terms, but you can't have a dragon fly off somewhere, you can't have Valk just go without any follow-up, you need to be level-headed. But I think that this team, possibly a bit unlike Trophy's team, they look capable of making those calls. Big early sleep, big early anti. Trophy goes down for it, Brandon goes down for it as well. Ginormous ultimates everywhere. But this is the problem that we thought we might see. Do they need the grab there? Do they need dragons there? Probably not. Probably not. The second that Trophy gets antied and dies, and then someone else drops with him, that's 2 picks on Hanamura defense before the fight's even started on point. That's over. There's no world where you don't win that recontest fight with spawns and everything going your way. They're only going to have 4 people on point without a main tank. You don't need to invest ults into that fight. Because now, this makes it so much more difficult to hold if you're the blue team, because you need to hope that Bob just wins the fight. And this is the tragedy of the moment. Rykar charges in with Nano, charges off the point, and now is stuck. Needs to get back on the point. By the time he gets there, Nano's gone. And this is where things start to fall apart a little bit for the blue team. It was looking so good. Ty catches onto 3. And by the skin of their teeth, red full cap. Match point position now for team, that's what she said. But again, it's so scrappy. So many ults going out that don't need to go out. If blue team held on to Grav Dragons, they win this map. And they go to 2-1 in the series. I believe then heading on to Route 66, which you'd argue that with the rush comps looking the way they've done, would favour them. We could be in a 5-map series situation if they win Hanamura. Just hasn't quite gone the way they needed it to. But this isn't over yet. No time on the clock for Team 2. The motivation for Blue will be if you can get a quick win onto first point, followed by a quick cap onto second. You could take this in 1. No round 3 for the blue team, for the red team, will be the plan. Okay, now this is where things get a bit difficult. The Reaper's back. The Reaper's back, and I think that Bullet's going to have the same luck that Lemony had, to be honest. It's going to be so difficult to get ult charge in this fight. Playing into double turret troopers as well. They've got Sim and Torb. Trying to get through, but again, the turrets... This fight is now over. You lose your Zarya going in. Get whatever ult charge you can and get out should be the strategy. Trophy already was slam. Again, ultimates, guys, they're important. You don't just throw them away. This fight is over. You don't need to ult this. You don't need to ult this. But he does anyway. Bit of an ego boost. But the thing is now, is that to be honest with you, that was a really weird fight because the fight was almost over before it began. Rugby goes down super early. It's fine. It happens. Trophy had his ult. Now doesn't. He's now behind 50% to Rykar. This means that Rykar is likely first to the next shatter, which is that Trophy now has to play carefully or they could lose a team fight because of a big slam. So they need to play safe. Trophy, if he still had his slam, that mental pressure that Rykar could have, or even the surprise element of going for it now, would be huge, but he just doesn't have that anymore. Trophy needs to win this race again, but he's not going to at 50 down. So this looks like the plan. Use the wall to get in. Looks like a well-organised strategy. Try and catch onto the Symmetra maybe. Careful with those turrets, boys. Slowly back up. Slowly back up. This room is so dangerous to hold him, but they look like they're making it work. Trophy catch onto Mei. That's probably what you would expect to have happened. Break that teleporter. Getting charged through. It's not quite falling the way it needs to. Slam doesn't catch onto anything. Oh, it's not going well. Bullet getting a bit unlucky here with the Reaper pick again. I just think Junkrat or even a second hit scan here is just so much more consistent, the damage. Spitfire getting out with the Baptiste. That's what Bullet's plan is here. He's trying to get him behind, but he's low HP. Would have liked to have seen him regroup with the team. Core is very early. They can wait that out. Bullet going for the early play, dies for it. Window and core in front of them is very difficult to poke into. Don't know how you push into this if you're the blue team. Pick onto the Symmetra. Big block. Oh, not quite. He backs up a little bit too much. But Anna lives. I think they all huddle around him. Little sardine cans. If you're Az, beat this. Engage. Rush into the fight. Use beat to engage. Or nano boost. I feel like the teams are so scared to use beat aggressively. You could take that fight. Big grab. Symmetra dies. Beat aggressively or nano. Do something. Press something. Make something happen. You've got to make something happen, Az. Oh! It's like there's just a bit of a fear factor. The fight's opening up a bit, but no one wants to go for it. And he dies for it, yeah. Just a bit of a passive mindset from the blue team. They want to play super slow together, but there was a fight to be taken there they could have maybe gone for. Monster slam. Spitfire dies. And this is where it all opens up. That nano boost really huge. But this could have happened 25 seconds ago. And it looks like still they're going to lose for it because we haven't beaten yet. We need to beat as... Oh, big slam! Okay. Bullet. This is his first Blossom. This is the problem for me. It's been 4 minutes and it's his first Blossom coming up. Not looking ideal. Need to make something happen with it. Needs to be big. It's got to be big after 3 minutes of building. Big pick early onto Brand. Gets in there. Spin to win. Okay, so Bullet finally gets the Reaper to work. Value coming out. And this is now looking like a very good fight for team that's team led the Clad. Bob not needed. Why? Why is he there? Cacti's not going to die. Just about living. Don't need Bob there. You could have used him next fight. It would have been so huge. Just a bit of discipline, I think, is the only thing. Kill those turrets. There we go. 1, 2. Pop, pop. And there they go. See what the comment is. Did we have a comment or was it just... Yo, yo, Jay, how you doing? Thrilling gameplay. Sorry, Desi, to leave you on standby for so long. Guys, I have to be honest with you, I have to keep checking the chat through the PS menu boost. It's not coming up on my screen. It's a bit annoying. He's good. Nice, man. Glad to see you good. So this is actually a very good rotation coming up for the blue team. They could make this fight work. I was actually hoping that, listen, if they've got Bob here, Bob goes on point and then the team slowly moves in and everything starts to fall their way, but there's just no pressure at the moment. It's a huge sleep, huge anti. Not enough to get the confirm. So a little bit behind on Shatter still. Yeah, shield goes down. Everything just melts. Symmetra doing so much damage in there. They've nanoed Lucio. Oh, it's like half the time when I want them to use ults, they don't. And then when I want them to use nothing, they do. It's like... It is just ult economy. You can work on this though. This is only week 1 as we remember. So much time to go for the league season. If you guys can get good at managing ultimates, then this will be so easy for you guys playing this rush comp. So, a minute 50. Need to make something happen. But the ults aren't looking great. Flux beat Bob on its way, Slam. When you're reviewing choice game. After this one. I'm going to go straight into it. I still haven't seen it. It's going to be my first... I'm going to try not to pause choice game. I'm going to try and just watch it. And a huge flank slam from Trophy. Monstrous. Trophy kept going for these all series. If I spend the points, are we going to get this in French or Spanish 10 minutes? No. Not this one. I'm sorry. I'll have to donate you all on that one. You can't make this French because I need to send this to someone at some point so that they have it. Can you imagine? That this is all in French and Spanish, people trying to listen to the review. But no, the thing is that this is when Trophy does start to get punished a little bit. So I think that they lose this point because of an aggressive decision that he goes for. Poking a little bit, not too much going on. I don't like this window. Although it catches, I mean, okay, right, it catches 3. Okay, so it looks brilliant. But I don't actually like this window. Because if you're here, you can see the window and then you just go... Do you know what I mean? You see the window, you're like, ah, window. How's everyone doing? How's everyone's day? Everyone having a good time? Oh, window's gone. And then you keep going. Like, that's really what should happen, but I think just because of the sheer timing of it, I actually think the timing was really, really good from Spitfire's place at Trophy's Fire Strike as well. Yeah, I know it got 3, but it shouldn't have got 3, is my point. Like, it was a good situation that went their way, but if it was a second later, or a second earlier, it probably doesn't get anything, is the point. I know it got 3, but like, listen. Now this, ladies and gents, is crunch time. Okay, so Rugby's made the switch over to ball. They have speed boost with beat, they have slam coming. They have Bob on its way. Red team has full high ground control with Torbjorn. Okay? All they have to do is not lose this point. They can give 2 ticks and they still win the series, guaranteed after this round. Instead, what happens is what this man decides to do. Because I don't know how much communication was given on this, but based on this, Trophy feeds. It was all part of the plan. The slam was so out of the blue. Guys, If you held high ground together as a group and then dived on from here, you win the game! Trophy took a little bit of a sniff of the nano boost from last game. Bit of an LSD boost. Thing is now, look, the Bob's on point. You've got balls spinning around. This is still losable for Blue. They need to take this fight quickly. Torb turret, realistically, if this was still ticking through, you'd have a whole team here ready to support. Drop on now, like Torb chooses to. Imagine if Torb then had a Ryan and a Zarya in front of him as well, all that lovely stuff, and Nano comes out, Beat comes out, and this is exactly what you need if you're the blue team now. Big pin to get people off point. And they do full cap. And you've got to think that if that's either communicated or just not happening, that you win that game there. Did he just jump? Oh my god, Trophy man. Didn't even know he was going to do it. Jesus. So sorry guys, we're so stressful playing with Trophy. He almost threw the map. I don't think he even meant to. He almost threw the map. It actually was a big slam, it just like... It wasn't in the sense where he slams 2 people in a 5-man group and then dies for it. That's the thing. It was huge, but it wasn't huge enough to win them the fight. Whereas if they just played slow... I think Trophy's allergic to the words play slow. But if they played slow, then it's winnable. Okay. I saw this and I was very confused. We see the Bastion from Brand come out. And the Pharah provisionally from Z-Man. I cannot believe this worked, to be honest with you. I have to be real with you. I cannot believe this worked. In the gates at spawn, when I saw this, I thought, okay, they're playing into Sigma Rhine, and Eats plus a full shield with Bastion. They should be able to